What's up, people? Elite Computer Man here. Today, episode 69 part 2 has been released. Let's get into it. Let's go. Okay, what? Something. There. Okay. Wait, that's how he gets his stuff back? Wait, did he just upgrade? Or... Oh. Wait, why did he with two types? Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, first, I thought that the lens was like, I'm trying to zoom in, I can't. I thought it was like right there. I didn't know they put it right there.
Hello, everyone. The long-awaited second part of episode 69 was released just days before the new year, and I am here to explain everything in it to you guys. I'll show you all the hidden details and Easter eggs of this episode. Get your tea and snacks ready. This is going to be awesome. Let's go. First thing first, I'd want to mention the thumbnail Dafook created for this episode. And as I saw this thumbnail, my heart literally dropped. Were the rumors about how Titan TV Man can be a traitor for the Alliance true after all? But as the episode went on, my concerns were alleviated. Also, I've got some crazy theory about the future of Skibidi Toilet series, so watch this video to the end if you want to understand everything. The second part of episode 69 starts with the same scene we already saw in the end of part 1. Only this time, we've been shown how it was actually translated from Big TV Man screen. Also, I've heard some suspicious sounds in the very beginning of this scene. I think those thumbing sounds were from Michael Jackson Skibidi trying to enter the large door he was left behind in the previous episode. And I keep hearing the eerie Skibidi noises, indicating the guys from the squad are not really safe at all. Just as I expected in my previous analyses, we're going back to the plot arc of POV we last saw in the end of episode 68. As Big TV Man stops his translation on the screen, he looks upwards and says a phrase that goes like, "F***ing finally" in reverse. As the camera turns around, we see what he was on about. The reinforcements for the Alliance got here finally. So, I totally understand this guy's feelings. And by the way, in my opinion, that only proves the fact that Big TV Man is not a traitor, as he was visibly relieved that there is some help coming for the guys inside the bunker who are fighting for their lives. In the next scene, we see Titan Cameraman fighting another Skibidi Toilet. And I don't really remember this one from the previous episodes. Apparently this Skibidi with saws is somebody new, and he gets wrecked by Titan Cameraman within just a few seconds. I really want to show my appreciation for our big blue Chad, because despite all the injuries he's got, he still keeps fighting so vigorous as if nothing happened. Then we see something really interesting. Check out the scene where Titan Speakerman gets his new upgrade sent on the flying speakers with metal hands. Those hands remind me a lot of Skibidi robotic hands we started seeing more and more often from Season 22, although the technologies the Alliance has seem to be different from Skibidi ones. In any case, I can definitely see the techno growth and evolution of the Alliance, and it makes me feel really proud. The Alliance is also able to learn through their enemies' actions and their own mistakes, and I appreciate that a lot. Titan Cameraman gets his upgrades as well, check out how his old cannon just fell off while the new one got attached to his body.
Oh, I didn't
I think
realize.
this new cannon is going to be greatly enhanced, and its fires are about to be much more powerful. Also, he got the new wings that seem to be bigger and cooler than the previous ones he had. And I also noticed how he got some really thick and intimidating cannon-like things on his shoulders. And my guess is that it might be huge lasers that the Alliance probably took off some giant Skibidi that was defeated by Titans before. Now the time has come for the fishy scene we saw in the preview. Titan TV Man approaches Titan Cameraman and says to him, "Stand still." Then, he activates his purple core and shares its energy with the drained Titan Cameraman. It seems to me blue and purple cores are of similar origins, so one can transmit the energy to another, which I find super cool. Check out how these cannons on Titan Cameraman's shoulders immediately started glowing in color blue. That means soon we'll see his new epic blue lasers in action. After that, Titan TV Man says another phrase, which I heard as, "Let's demolish this place." Listen for yourself. It made me curious, though, why would Titan TV Man share his energy with Titan Cameraman in the first place? Can it be due to the fact that our wounded buddy lost almost all of his core energy while firing his lasers at G-Man in episode 65? But you know, Titan Speakerman used quite a lot of his own energy too, in the second part of episode 67, for instance. And still, Titan Cameraman gets to be the first in line. Take a look how Titan Speakerman also points his finger at his own core, as if implying something like, "Hey buddy, I wouldn't mind recharging my own core as well." And in response, Titan TV Man does this funny gesture he already showed to Speakerman in the fourth part of episode 67 while saying, "No stabbing." It makes the dynamics between those three Titans really funny. It seems like they have some sort of hidden hierarchy among themselves here. And while Titan TV Man and Cameraman are considered to be the fully operational militants of the Alliance Army, they look at Titan Speakerman as if he was their little bro. After that little interaction, Titans start getting ready to set off. Titan TV Man teleports straight away, and Titan Cameraman activates his mecha wings and turbine and flies off. So does Titan Speakerman. And by the way, it seems to me he's not happy about the guys flying away without him at all. So he expresses his hurt feelings and rather vivid. But let's move on. I find it a bit strange how all the Titans got to fly off somewhere while the Skibidi bunker is literally right there next door. And considering all the upgrades they just got from the Alliance, I assume they got ready for the very special mission which is connected directly with the Skibidi bunker onslaught. Then, why would they just fly away somewhere if all those upgrades would be enough to knock off the bunker entrance door? My guess is, Titans are about to enter the Skibidi base from another entrance made specifically for the huge Titan-like Skibidi inventions. Remember the Skibidi scientist puppet? It was just as huge in size as our three Titans are. So, I think that's where their point of destination lies. I also assume that they will definitely be of great help to the elite squad members who are trapped inside of the bunker now. But I will tell you about my predictions for the third part of episode 69 a bit later. Now let's take a look at the most interesting part of this episode. As three Titans take themselves off, POV Cameraman turns around to the direction of the Alliance's reinforcements. And there's plenty to look at, I must tell you. Check out how every member of the Alliance now has the earphones and a special lens protecting their cameras, which means that they are now fully resistant to both the sound waves and the light attacks Skibidi may use against them. Also, check out the new weapons our guys got. Speakermen are now holding the melee weapons, such as knives and bats. And speaking of it, take a closer look at this Speakerman with two bats in his hands, going forward like he is a character in some epic movie. Doesn't he remind you of Plunger Man holding two plungers in episode 50? Maybe it is another fan of his. Because if you guys remember, we already see some kind of fan of Plunger Man in episode 53, although he was crushed just seconds after his epic emergence. I wish this one guy more luck, though. And I mean, considering all the horrors that are currently taking place on the lower floors of Skibidi Bunker, we might probably need another Plunger Man in the nearest future. But let's not talk about it right now. So I noticed how all the Speakermen in this scene got melee type of weapons, while cameramen seem to be using the ranged weapons, which I find really, really smart. Because Speakermen have their powerful speakers that are able to produce sound waves, which purpose is to stun their enemies. And this makes it easier for Speakermen to be masters of melee combat. The way the Black Speakerman held himself in the bunker an episode before only proves this point. Meanwhile, cameramen got themselves a new weapon. It's a shotgun. My guess is they were provided with it as it will be really useful in the process of the Skibidi base's onslaught. Shotguns seem to be perfect weapons to use in the enclosed space where multiple quick-moving enemies are rushing to you. But there is one more detail that triggered my imagination the most. It's the toilet paper. Why in the world would the Alliance need a freaking toilet paper, guys? But of course, I have an answer for that. I have two interpretations for that thing. The first option is that it was intended to be a joke by Dafook, because if you remember episode 26, in there, Titan Speakerman used one of his defeated enemy's toilet as a comfortable seat and looked like a humiliating thing for his enemy, of course. What if this toilet paper is just a continuation of this joke? I mean, cameramen are robots after all, and they need to things like that. But there is also a second option, and it's much more practical. What if it's not a toilet paper at all, but some kind of sticky paper, the purpose of which is to seal up Skibidi's mouths or eyes? Because that's the instruments of Skibidi attacks in the melee fight. Or there is another pragmatic possibility regarding this paper. It may be a cover-up for the real weapon hidden inside. In the scene closer to the end, when POV is being approached by another cameraman, I saw something that looked like a grenade inside of this cameraman's toilet paper roll. Maybe it's a red herring for Skibidi that wouldn't expect any real threat coming from the toilet paper? We'll see in the next episode. Also, we see the Alliance's medics here on the battlefield, whose goal is to heal the wounded members of the Alliance army. They are quite easy to confuse with the engineers, but there are several features that would help us to differentiate them one from another. Medics have a shorter neck with the pivot, and they also wear black ties on the white t-shirts. They also use just one welding device on their right hand, while the engineers have two welding devices on them, which we can notice in episodes 23 and 49. There's an interesting this medic does. Look how he leans over the body of fallen cameraman, but then gets up without even trying to remove the metal kernel from his body or fixing his head camera. That means this guy is already dead and cannot be repaired. I suspect that the reason for that is not the head camera being detached from cameraman's body, but some serious damage that was done to his corpus. This idea is proved by the medic heading to the next cameraman's body without the head camera on the left. If there wouldn't be a chance for him to be alive, this medic wouldn't even be bothered checking on him in the first place. By the way, do you see this pile of metal in the background? I suspect it to be the remain of G-Clone with rocket launchers, who was crushed by Titan TV Man in the first part of episode 68. Also, there is another new gray Skibidi that can be seen on the left side of the screen, but he doesn't stand a chance against the reinforced soldiers of the Alliance army. There's another detail I noticed here. Do you remember how there used to be the sign KPRL on the Speakerman's models? It was a name of the actual Speakers brand existing in the real life. But then Dafook probably redid the models for Speakermen, so now they don't have anything written on their speakers. By the way, something similar happened to the cameramen models as well, because Dafook redesigned them at some point too. Now check out this big cameraman with the huge epic weapon he holds with two of his hands. By the way, even he wears the protective earphones that never happened before in the series. And this huge, awesome weapon he got reminds me of the classic minigun, based on the way he holds it. It glows red inside, and I suspect this weapon can operate as plasmic minigun, shooting the red plasma bursts. It would be extra cool to see this in action, and this weapon sounds like something incredibly powerful against Skibidi. In the next scene, POV is being approached by another cameraman who seems to be all set. He has it all: the protective lens on his camera, the earphones, even the roll of the toilet paper we discussed before, as a special token. He gives POV his new equipment consisting of the backpack/jetpack that will allow him to maneuver in the air. Also, he's being provided with the protective camera lens and the new shotgun. We can see its stock hanging from the left side of the jetpack. Now POV is equipped with the enhancements that came from cameraman's lab as well, and his chances for survival seem to be much higher than in the end of the first part of episode 68. The cameraman that gave all this gear to our POV draws his own weapon, and it's no shotgun this time. He has the old-fashioned rifle that shoots the poisonous darts from the distance. We already saw this weapon in use multiple times throughout the whole series, in episode 66 just for instance. And on that note, the second part of episode 69 ends. So, let me make some conclusions, guys. It's obvious at this point that the Alliance army is getting ready to storm the Skibidi main base, so they're going all in. The upgrades, new weapons, all sorts of protective gear. Everything here implies that the final battle is closer than ever. The Alliance army is planning to attack the Skibidi base from the 2 directions in order to raise the chances for their victory. I think their primal goal is to catch Skibidi off guard, surround them, and crush them with their numbers and upgrades. So, as the ordinary soldiers will enter the base using the same entrance the elite squad members walked through, in the meantime, 3 Titans will be about to enter the base as well from another entrance meant for the bigger Skibidi inventions. I think Titans wouldn't be able to get in anyways because the entrance we saw before is way too small for them. And yet, I am absolutely sure they'll find an alternative route and eventually be able to help their comrades in the battle. Now it's time to make some predictions about what can be waiting for us in the next part of this episode. I am sure there will be part 3 because episode 69 cannot just interrupt in mid-sentence. We have the whole setup for the final 3rd part. The Titans are on their way to enter the base and to help the survived members of the elite squad. I think they'll be able to save the majority of their comrades. Although I have a sad feeling that someone will probably have to go. And unfortunately, I suspect our Bud Plungerman to be the next victim in this line of tragedies, as everything seems to lead to such a result. But I really don't want to push that idea, though, because losing another cool cameraman would be unbearable for me. I mean, I still have high hopes for Simp Cameraman somehow proving that he is alive. It's finally the right time to talk about the future fate of the Skibidi Toilet series. Don't you guys think that I forgot about UFO Skibidi I talked so much about in my analysis of episode 67? I was constantly expecting him to intervene somehow in the Titans battle, or to become a target for Titan TV Man later. But it seems like he was added more as an Easter egg for us to think about in the long term. So I have a crazy theory about what might happen after the grand finale we're about to see soon. I already predicted that it's unlikely that Dafuk will end the whole series for a number of reasons. So, based on this Astro Toilet Easter egg, I have the following thought on what might happen next. Yeah, the final battle is about to take place soon, and we will see some crucial consequences for both sides of this never-ending war. But what if the series will continue anyway? But this time, in space. And honestly, guys, I already have just a ton of information to prove my cosmic theory, so you can expect a whole video on it from me soon. I can tell it will be really interesting, so be sure to subscribe to my channel not to miss it, as well as my other analyses. And that was me, Isa Toilet. See ya.
You guys know it? Well, no, you know, it's really good actually. But what if it does go in space? That would be like epic cookies. Yeah, it'll be like extremely epic. I don't know, what do you guys think? Write in the comments if you think it's gonna be epic or just like yes. Subscribe if you wanna grow bigger on YouTube. And the computer.